Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Barcraft New Zealand Finals for Season 1, of course, with some of the local players from downtown in New Zealand. Of course, thank you to Playtech and Telstra Clear being some of the main sponsors that we've had throughout the year, and of course for this event as well. It's going to be a really cool matchup that we've got here. We've got NV's Jazzbaz coming up against Frenetic Array's Petraeus. It's going to be a crazy game. Of course, these guys have played quite a lot before. The last time that I saw these two playing against each other was in one of the Barcraft New Zealand matches last month, I believe, where we saw some really intense, pretty high pressure sort of games we saw, what did we see? We saw some like faked out sort of games, lots of mind game sort of stuff going on between these two. Of course, when you know a player as well as they would know each other, and you would know their styles, sometimes when you want to win something, you are gonna have to try something different. So there were some like hidden roaches. You know, the old Jerry Zergling build, whatever that was called, I can't remember. Someone will have to remind me of that one. And then, of course, there was some muta plays, some very heavy Zergling styles we saw from Jazzbaz as well. And yeah, we'll jump into it in just a second. Of course, we're just making sure that everything is ready, and then we'll jump straight into it. It is a best of 7, by the way. The Alright, the little starboard that I've got up the top when we get to the next screen, the StarCraft 2 screen, will be a little bit messy right at the start because I have to adjust all that stuff, so let's just see how it goes. Of course, welcome to everyone who has just joined in the chat and all those things. Make sure you are, you know, posting your thoughts, saying what you want in the chat, just to, you know, talk about the game. Make sure we're all having a nice, friendly chat about it. If you are going to do some trolling, at least try and do it skillfully, but generally most people aren't that skillful, so, you know, you may get a ban for that if you're being a little bit too silly. But anyway, let's jump into it. It is going to be our first game. Also, guys, just make sure you let me know about the sound levels, just because I have to make sure that that's all looking pretty good and sounding pretty good, because I haven't like had a huge amount of sort of preparation ready for this just yet. But anyway, should be all okay. I mean, this is the normal sorts of sounds that I have going and all that kind of stuff, so it should be all cool. And we'll just get into it here. Of course, I would really love to see you guys, if you are posting in chat, please mention who you think is going to take the game, who is going to take the whole set, who is going to take that amazingly awesome trophy home with the golden mouse, and of course we've got a giant check. But starting at the top right-hand side of Daybreak, in the yellow, is Frenetic Array's Petraeus. And his opponent down in the bottom left-hand side is our Blue Zerg playing for Team NV. It is Jazzbaz. Yeah, getting all GSL style going there. So let me just fix up the starboard. We'll just flick them over. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's the one, Savior. The Jerry build. Make all the links. Okay, so we may see something like that. I would not be surprised if eventually one of these guys tries something like that, especially on Ohana. That seems to be like the map of the day to do that Jerry build with the hidden lings and that kind of stuff. I think Antigua is also a map that you can do it on. I'm not exactly sure on that one. I don't get to see that build too often, but anyway, so Daybreak, of course, I haven't actually seen these guys play on this particular map before, but I'm assuming we'll probably see just some reasonably standard sort of stuff, of course, with pretty quick expansions down to the natural there, of course. With this map, it is a pretty wide open natural, so there's quite a lot of space here to come across. You'll often see quite a lot of players actually do like a semi-wall in, perhaps with an Evo chamber. Sometimes you can do it up there. Some players will go for it over here with 2 buildings. You can put a queen in this little spot here just to protect that area. and no NXT. We're not going to talk about Counter-Strike because that's just not cool at all. So we will see that Patreus is going to start with a spawning pool first. He's going to head down to the natural and get that started in just a moment as well. So he's going to go a little bit more of a safer build in that regard. As we can see, his hatchery going to be quite a lot further behind where Jazzbaz is. But of course, that means a little bit different sort of timings on various sorts of things. Jazzbaz now grabbing his gas. We'll have to see if Patreus is going to grab his as well. Obviously, if you get that gas a little bit earlier, you can bring out all of that Vespene gas, put that into the spawning pool, and get started with your Zergling speed, which can be not necessarily a massive game-changing thing right at the start, but sometimes, depending on when you get it, depending on when your opponent gets it, it can mean quite a bit. So, as you can see, spawning pool already done here, so Patreus is going to have a couple of lings that he's going to pop out. He's not going to build too many, of course. You don't really want to go crazy with these initial lings because they're not really going to get too much damage done unless it's some sort of play that you're going to go for. Obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on how much gas comes out of that extractor for Patreus, and of course for Jazzbaz as well. Looks like the speed is going to get started for Jazz just a tiny bit quicker, so he's going to have his a little bit sooner than Pet will. And as you can see, Queen's just starting to get sort of motioned out here for both the players. We've already got one for Patreus. There isn't one just yet for Jazz. Of course, he did get his hatchery a little bit quicker, so he will have two a little bit quicker than what Pet will have. But as you can see, the lings are going to get freely inside for Patreus. They're going to have a quick look around and see what's going on. He'll be able to have a quick look at their gas, perhaps even see how much gas has been taken out there, and he will be able to see that the drones are still going to sit in there for the moment. So we'll have to see. Looks like there will be a quick Baneling nest here from Jazzbaz just to make sure that he's all protected from any kinds of early aggression kind of things that might come along. As we can see, Patreus is going to respond with his own, just a little spine crawler as well, just to make sure that he's all protected from his own sorts of troubles that may arise. Now for Jazz, he's actually grabbed the second gas, and he has continued, as we mentioned before, he did continue to pick up all the gas that was in this particular extractor, has not taken the drones off, so we may see him go for something a little bit more aggressive a little bit earlier on. And we'll have to see if Patreus is going to be prepared for that. Of course, as I mentioned, both of these players are really good with their micro. Of course, in Zerg vs. Zerg, you're going to be on the lookout for things like splitting with your lings, of course, banelings as well, just making sure you're targeting things right down. And as we can see, Jazz is going to go for a very early hit. Is this going to be that? I think this looks like it is going to be a very strong baneling hit. He's going to be morphing in 7 banelings just down here at the front door, not even caring that Patreus may be able to find this, and in fact he's just going to go crazy and morph another 13 in total. So looks like we will get that. I believe that's the Target style build there. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys. But here we go. Looks like the Ling's just going to see if they can soak up some of the damage of the banelings, and here they go, just coming in from all angles here. Patreus will have to be very careful with his splits. Some of the banelings getting inside, spine crawler going down. The banelings haven't actually done too much economic damage, but they have removed quite a lot of the health of these units here. Looks like the Queens will just stay alive here for Patreus, and that is a nice little victory here for him. Keeping those 2 Queens alive, of course, means that he's going to be able to keep up with his injects. He can use them for future defense and all that kind of thing. And Jazzbaz is just not going to be done with that. He's got more banelings now morphing in, 7 of them in fact. There are lings now streaming across the map. He's going to split up these banes, make sure they can't all be pulled apart by a couple of single banelings. And wow, beautiful catch there by Jazz. He was actually able to take 4 banelings for 2 of his own. That is really nicely done here, and he is going to push in still further. Lings have now finally taken down those 2 Queens. Banelings protecting the mineral line. They're very close to hitting a big hit with those banelings there, and again Patreus losing 4 banelings to just a duo of banelings from Jazzbaz. Jazz is now able to just stream his lings in. Looks like he is going to get inside. Roaches starting to pop out. Jazzbaz is going to win most of these fights, but with the roaches popping out, this is going to slowly get Patreus back in the fight here. The question is, will he be able to save some of these drones inside his main base? Just checking out what's going on. We do have a couple more roaches just finally finishing up. They're trying to corral these lings and keep them out of the main base, but they will escape. And as we can see, just continuous pressure. I did mention it just before we got started with the game. Jazzbaz, very, very high pressure with the way that he is playing his Zerg versus Zerg at the moment. As we can see back at home, very minimal drones for him. 26 drones. He's going all in or nothing, and he's about to commit all of these lings here. We'll see how they go. The roaches are being split up a bit. They're being cut apart by quite a lot of those lings, and some of the lings getting inside. Nice little bit of micro from Jazz to get in there. He's going to take down this this one roach that's defending, but I don't think he's actually gotten too much else. Not really. Just looking at the drone count, still sitting up there at 35, and as you can see, Jazz is just deciding that it is time to you know, he's going to try and drone up. He's going to try and get back in position from this. I mean, he has done a lot of damage, but the thing is, the roaches are now out for Patreus. He's up to 66 supply. He has a they're actually even on workers right now, so that's not too bad for Patreus and for Jazzbaz, but we'll have to see. Will Jazz be able to hold his own against those roaches? We'll find out very soon. He does have his own roach warren on the way that is morphing just inside the natural, I believe. Yep, there it is. So he is going to have that there. But we'll have to see if he's able to keep the pressure on, if Pet is able to sort of just block any of these further counter-attacks, because he is going to send his own little roach force across the map. Jazz now getting inside the mineral line at the Nat. He's going to get inside the main as well. Just having a look at this roach force now pushing its way down for Patreus. We'll have to see if that's going to get enough damage done, but meanwhile, back inside the main of Patreus, he's lost a couple of drones here. I don't think it's too many, just a couple there, and as we can see, he is going to capture some of those roaches and take them down, but the roaches of Patreus, they've got a free reign to just walk through this natural base here. He's going to try and look to just absolutely throw down the pain on these buildings. The Baneling Nest's about to go down, the hatchery, and possibly that roach warren as well. But Jazz has just decided it's go time. We're going to send the rest of the lings across. Not too much damage was done here, apart from the fact that quite a lot of the workers were forced off the line. So Patreus looking pretty good right now. He's up to 91 supplies, 6 more roaches on the way. Roach speed just about to finish up as well. And the hatchery has now gone down, so it looks like Jazz is in that sort of position where he's like, alright, I'm going to have to do something, and I don't think those roaches are going to be able to do that something, because it looks like he is going to fall here. The roaches now getting inside. A couple of spines were built in a very reasonably good position there for Jazzbaz, but unfortunately the roaches with speed now just able to power their way down to the corner. The drones just coming out to try and protect their queen, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to do a good job of actually trading efficiently here. Looks like the lings will be able to polish off the rest of the roaches, but at what cost? There is that magical saying, but at what cost? As we can see, the natural has been restarted by Jazzbaz. He's going to have to get that up and running as soon as he can, but the question is, will he be able to fend off the rest of these roach attacks? And they're going to just continue to come through from Patreus. He's got all this gas coming in. He's got 4 extractors running, in fact, not fully mining up there though, but he's going to put down the Infestor Tech. I was about to say I would not be surprised if we see him make sure that he's got that sort of safety tech here, just in case this doesn't finish off Jazzbaz here. And the roach is just going to stay back for the moment, just making sure they are trying to be very careful with how they proceed here. You don't really want to go up and just punch a couple of spine crawlers in the face. That's perhaps not the best way to play, but what he will do is just soften up some of these lings, get rid of some of these lings, force Jazzbaz to think, well, maybe I need to make a couple more units. I won't be able to make more drones. The worker count currently sitting at 32 for Jazzbaz, 37 for Patreus, and as you can see, as mentioned multiple times, he's going to be in a very good position right now. So for Jazz at the moment, he's got his own infestation pit just about to finish up here. The roaches still just being quite annoying at the front, just throwing a few shots out, as we said before, just sort of keeping Jazzbaz on his toes, making him think, do I need to get more units? Do I need to be worried about this attack actually pushing in? And as we can see, the drones now transferring down. Those guys are a little bit scared, but the roaches are finally starting to meet their match. They've got a couple of roaches from Jazzbaz about to pop out now, but I think the count of the roaches is going to be the big thing here. 27 roaches for Patreus. He's got Burrow doing a little bit of a Burrow dance here, and that is not going to be any good at all for Jazz. They're both just dancing around now, and I think we'll see a GG in a second. There it is. So game 1 of the Barcraft New Zealand Finals going to Patreus after fending off those Targa Banes and then coming in to finish off with some roaches. Really nicely done by him. We'll just fix that up. And there you go. So there's Jazz. Perhaps a little bit unfortunate there with his attacks. I think I saw a couple of people in the chat mentioning that perhaps it was a little bit too low on the Baneling count, not really getting too much damage done there. But I mean, regardless of that, it was still well fought off.